Elanor Davis couldn't remember the last time she had truly laughed. Work had taken over her life, little by little, until even her smile had disappeared. She was a respected architect, known for her strong instincts and reliable work. Clients trusted her completely, and her career kept moving forward. But her personal life was a different story. Since childhood, her family had always been complicated. Her mother, Margaret, cared more about social appearances than anything else. Her father, Harold, spent most of his time gambling or chasing risky investments. Neither of them had any real understanding of money, or how their actions hurt others. "Elanor, you're always so serious, you should enjoy life more," her mother would often say. But to Margaret, enjoying life meant spending recklessly. If Elanor tried to talk about saving or managing money, she was brushed off as boring or too uptight. Meanwhile, Eleanor's younger sister, Pamela, was the family favorite. She had their father's charm and their mother's looks. Her mistakes were forgiven, her wants fulfilled, and when she racked up debts, her parents quietly paid them, often using money that came from Elanor. The weight of her family's mistakes always seemed to land on her shoulders. The only one who truly understood Elanor was her grandmother, Rosalind. With her warm smile and wise eyes, she saw through Margaret and Harold's irresponsibility. Rosalind often told her, "You have a strength in you, Elanor. One day, it will save you." Rosalind's home had a peace Elanor never felt anywhere else. She loved the old furniture and antiques, each with a story. Sitting on her grandmother's lap, Elanor would listen to tales of where each item came from. "Objects have souls, especially when they're loved," Rosalind would say. That belief stayed with Elanor and shaped how she designed buildings, with meaning, history, and heart. When Rosalind died during Eleanor's college years, she left her home and belongings to Elanor. Among them was a sapphire pendant known in the family as the Davis jewel. It became Eleanor's most cherished possession. But her parents tried to sell or throw away everything Rosalind had left behind, calling it all outdated junk. Elanor fought to protect what she could. That pendant reminded her of who she was, and where she came from. After graduating, Elanor started her career. She worked hard and quietly kept supporting her family. She paid off their debts, helped with Pamela's student loans, and covered her parents' medical bills. She never asked for anything back. She just wanted to keep some form of family connection alive, in honor of her grandmother. 3 months ago, she was chosen for a major project in Europe, her biggest one yet. Before leaving, she asked her parents to look after her house, the one she inherited from Rosalind. They agreed happily. Before stepping on the plane, Elanor pressed the sapphire pendant to her chest and whispered, "I'll be back." The project went well. Still, Elanor couldn't shake the strange feeling that something was wrong. Sometimes, it felt like her grandmother was trying to warn her. When she finally returned home, she was exhausted but excited. The autumn trees lined Maple Street, their colors soft and golden. The taxi driver said, "Almost there." Elanor smiled. She was ready for a break, and ready to finally talk to her family about their growing debts. But as the taxi pulled up to her house, her smile vanished. A large for sale sign stood on the lawn. Below it, a sticker read "Sold." "This must be a mistake," she said softly. After paying the driver, she dragged her suitcase to the front door, her front door. But when she tried her key, it didn't fit. The lock had been changed. Her heart pounded. She called her mother. "Elanor, you're back." Margaret's voice was cheerful. "Mom, why is there a for sale sign on the lawn?" "Oh yes, we sold the house. Got a great deal. You'll have to find somewhere else to live now." Elanor froze. "What are you talking about? That house is in my name. You can't sell it." "Oh, your father handled the paperwork. There were some legal forms or something. Anyway, it's already done. The new owners move in next weekend." Elanor felt sick. "What about my things?" "Oh, we got rid of them. All that old stuff was just clutter. Clothes, books, your grandmother's keepsakes, we tossed it all." Elanor gasped. "What about the pendant?" "That ugly old necklace with the blue stone? Pamela said no one would wear something like that, so we threw it away too." In the background, she heard Pamela laughing. "Elanor, you're back. We had an amazing party while you were gone." Elanor sat down on the front steps, numb. She could barely breathe. "You're not mad, are you?" Margaret asked, suddenly unsure. "You always help us out. We figured you'd buy us another house. Besides, we used the money to pay Pamela's debts." Then Margaret added casually, "And your dad's medical bills. You know how things add up. Elanor closed her eyes. Something inside her broke. The bond she had tried so hard to preserve was gone. I see, she said quietly, but don't regret this. Margaret chuckled nervously. Don't be so dramatic, you always forgive us. Elanor hung up without replying. The wind blew softly around her. She looked at the house, once her grandmother's, now lost forever. Tears filled her eyes, but she didn't let them fall. I couldn't protect what mattered, she whispered. Just then, her phone buzzed. It was a message from her friend Deborah, a sharp lawyer and one of the few people Elanor truly trusted. How was Europe? Let me know when you're back. Elanor stared at the screen, then slowly stood up. This isn't the end, she said aloud, voice steady. This is only the beginning. I never signed anything, Elanor said firmly. Deborah turned the screen toward her. Here's the record, and there's a signature. Elanor leaned in. Her heart sank. There was a signature, but it wasn't hers. This is a forgery, she whispered, her voice shaking. Deborah gave a slow nod. That's what it looks like. Do you have a copy of your grandmother's will? I used to. I kept it in a wooden box, Elanor replied bitterly, but my parents said they threw everything out. We'll keep looking, Deborah said calmly. Right now, we need proof the transfer of ownership was fraudulent, something solid. But how? Elanor asked, frustrated. We'll start with the lawyer who handled your grandmother's will. They might still have a copy. Deborah picked up the phone. And we'll trace what happened to your belongings. So began Eleanor's legal fight. With Deborah's help, they tracked down the law firm that had handled her grandmother Rosalind's will, but it wasn't good news. I'm very sorry, said Morris, the elderly lawyer. A fire 5 years ago destroyed some of our files. Mrs. Davis's will was one of them. Elanor and Deborah exchanged uneasy looks. It felt too convenient. Is there any other place it might have been stored? Deborah asked. Morris thought for a moment. Rosalind was careful. It's likely she filed a copy with a notary public. It was a lead. They followed it. Meanwhile, Elanor searched for the belongings her parents claimed they had thrown away. Check antique shops and local charities, Deborah advised. If they got rid of your things, someone might have picked them up. Every night, Elanor made phone call after phone call, describing the things that mattered most. She told them all about her grandmother's pendant. It's a blue sapphire surrounded by silver filigree, she said over and over, with R.D. engraved on the back. Then, on the third night, her phone rang. Is this Elanor Davis? A man asked. I'm Martin Greenberg from Treasures of the Past. I think we might have some items you're looking for. The next morning, Elanor and Deborah went to his shop. Martin, a kind man with white hair, brought out a cardboard box. A man and a young woman brought these in last week. Said it was just old junk. Elanor opened the box and gasped. Her old photo albums, her diaries, her grandmother's keepsake box. I didn't think they were worth much, Martin admitted, but something told me not to toss them. Then I saw your ad. Eleanor's eyes filled with tears. Thank you, she whispered. The pendant wasn't there, but when she opened the jewelry box with a hairpin, she found an envelope. Inside was a letter in Rosalind's familiar handwriting, and legal documents. Dear Elanor, if you're reading this, you're probably going through something difficult. This house and everything in it belongs to you. No matter what Harold and Margaret say, this is the truth. The attached documents are proof. I believe in your strength. With love, Rosalind. Deborah scanned the papers and her eyes lit up. This is it, a valid ownership transfer, dated before the forgery. Elanor looked down at her grandmother's photo. Those wise eyes still seemed to watch over her. She knew they might try something like this. Deborah said, now we can move forward. We'll get your house back. Elanor nodded, holding the documents close. The fight wasn't over, but now she had the truth, and her grandmother's faith in her. I'll protect your house, Grandma, she promised silently. A few weeks later, Deborah handed Elanor an envelope. The court just issued the decision. The sale was fraudulent. It's been nullified. Elanor looked out the office window. Autumn leaves drifted past in shades of gold and crimson. The battle had taken more than a month. She'd been living out of a hotel, chasing scattered pieces of her past. Will the buyer be compensated? She asked quietly. No, Deborah said. The court ruled that the responsibility lies with the real estate agent and your father. Elanor lowered her eyes. My father, The betrayal stung more than she could say. Forging her signature, that cut deep. Deborah gently handed her another envelope. These are the keys to your house. You can go home. Elanor took them and held them tight. They weren't just keys, they were a symbol. She had reclaimed her life. Thank you, Deborah. She pulled her friend into a hug. Without you. You had this strength all along, Deborah said, squeezing her shoulder. Your grandmother knew that too. Elanor managed a small smile. As she stepped outside, her phone buzzed. Her mother's name lit up the screen. She took a deep breath and answered.